Hello friends and welcome to bsptraining.com. Today I'm going to show you how do you do cash flow analytics in Tableau. So this is my fourth session about building CFO dashboard. Today in next few minutes we are going to see how do you design advanced data visualization and cash flow using Tableau. So I received a financial report from my users which consists of cash flow elements. We have got income statement and balance sheet, and I need to visualize my cash flow. We have got data for last 3 years, and your conventional cash flow consists of operating activity, investing activities, and financial activities. I need to do some advanced analysis on top of this so that my users can visualize this and make some important decision about the business. So what I did first, I make a copy of this sheet because I don't want to tamper this existing sheet. I create a copy of it, and I would like to classify my types of, you know, cash flow activities like operating, investing, and financial activities. Therefore, I'm going to add an additional column over here. So in order to reach and meaningful analysis, many of time you need to do data massaging or normalization of your data. This is exactly what I'm going to do over here. So I'll add a header over here named as header, and I'm going to add these all are my operating activities. So a kind of attribute I attach with this so that I can quickly differentiate between what is my operating activities, what is investing activities, and what is financial activities. And whichever is not, some of them are subtotal. Cash flow from operating activities, this is subtotal. Cash flow for financial activities and cash flow for investing activities. So what I do, I don't want to include them for my analysis. Therefore, I'm going to add a filter and exclude them. So the easy way you can, using quick way, you can filter it out. Okay, and I'll filter out with a blank and tag them as header. And later on in Tableau, I'm going to exclude them. And I would call this is cash flow type. I'm going to save this, and next we'll use this Excel sheet. There's a place I'm going to save it. I'll copy this Excel sheet, use the Excel sheet as a source for my Tableau. Because my Tableau is installed in virtual machine, therefore I need to exchange this data. So I go to my Tableau, and I already shared that folder from virtual machine setting. You can share all the folders. So I shared all the folders. Okay. So the folder already exists called financial reporting. Therefore, I need not share any further. I can see over here, and I sort by timestamp. This is my cash flow, which I just now prepared few minutes before. I normalized few minutes before. Okay. So this is my existing dashboard. I'm going to create a dashboard in a similar way. So I'm going to create a new sheet, and my source is going to be Excel. I prefer to copy the data file from my network location to my local desktop. So I copy to my Tableau repository, data sources, and financial reporting. Then I'm going to connect to Excel sheet, and before we actually start using it, I need to massage some data. So I go cash flow reporting, okay, and I would name them. First one is your uh, cash flow type. Second one would be your financial element. I would call them as a global category financial element. And then these are the years, because I wanted these year to be considered as, right now they are considered as a major, okay, and therefore I want them to use as a dimension and transpose this data uh, as numbers. So all these numbers I want to call them with a common category as majors. So I convert this, transpose this from rows to column. And in order to do this, first step, recommend to rename your majors. Okay. The headers, I'm going to rename it 2010. I have data for 2010, 2011, and 2012. 2012. I'm going to transpose this data now. This is a very good utility from Tableau into a pivoting. Okay, and because I don't want to use header data, I can filter it my source itself. Click on this and filter, exclude header data. So I use cash flow type and I exclude header data. I want only financial, investment and operating activities. That's it. So my data is ready, and the next step I start building a cash flow reports on top of this. So I create multiple cash flow report and finally put them together under my dashboard. Okay. So start with cash flow detail report. In cash flow detail report, I might be needing cash flow type and cash flow elements. So it is like a nesting. These are different financial activities, investing activities and operating activities. You see the purpose of adding header over there or additional attribute. It is easing my job. I can quickly classify between financial, investment and operating activities. Now I'm going to add a measures. Measure is not labeled correctly, so I label it as measures or facts. Okay. That is easy to recognize, and I'll drag and drop all these measures. Okay. Now I'm going to add a subtotal and grand total to make it meaningful. Add subtotal, all subtotal, and finally grand total under analysis. My all grand total. Okay. It is still not looking so meaningful. So because there are some negative cash flow elements I have got, like other assets, they are negative elements. So I'm going to add different years. Field name also, this is not named it correctly, so I name it as years. So I like to see year over year, my detailed cash flow. We have got data for 2011, 2012 only. So I'm going to filter it out and keep only 2011, 2012 data. Then the numbers are coming as, one sec. Yeah. Numbers are coming as, these are numbers, actually they are currencies. So I'm going to convert this format from numbers to currencies. Under format, going to convert it as standard currency. This is fine, but there are some negative value. Therefore, I like to highlight negative value explicitly. So we have got highlight table. Click on highlight table. It will going to highlight your negative values. You can swap this. This makes sense to me. Okay. I can quickly see wherever we have negative elements. So this is my detailed cash flow detail report is ready. Now the second one, I'm going to create 100% stack chart. There is no 100% stack bar chart available in Tableau. I'm going to create a trick and create a 100% stack bar chart. Okay. So for different years, I like to see my cash flow type. Okay. And cash flow type, these are the measures. I don't have data for 2010, so I'm going to exclude it for now. 2011, 2012, and then I'm going to add a grand total for my all the years. So I order grand total for rows and column. Grand total for rows. So in order to create a stack bar chart, I need to convert this number to a percentage. So I use percentage of total. Click on this and convert this to percentage of total. Add table calculation, percentage of total. So now it will say 2011 total financial activities and 2012 total financial activities. Okay. Across. So I see financial investment and other operating activities for 2011 2012. The grand total is 100. Okay. So in order to make it meaningful, I'll convert this to my stack bar chart. Because it's 100%, it turns out to be 100% stack bar chart. So there is no pre-built bar chart you have in Tableau which create 100% stack bar chart. This makes sense to the user. I can add a label over here as a measure. Right. Had I used standard bar chart, the negative value won't be so meaningful. Okay, but here I could see meaningful output. I could quickly figure out that for 2011, my financial activities have more contribution than 2012. 2011 has more financial activities. Similarly, for 2011 and 2012, my investment and operating activities are similar, close to this. So this is my 100% stack bar chart. Now I'm going to create a pie chart, and I like to see percent contribution of each year. So I use a pie chart and see the percent contribution of each year. So first I use different year. This for 2 years. I convert my view to pie. This is for 2 years. Okay. For each year, what are my different cash flow types? I use a color. Okay. So for 2010, 2011, 2012, because 2010 doesn't have data, I'll use 2011, 12, and then I use major for angle. This is my total value. 2011 doesn't have data, I'm going to exclude this. So 2011, 2012, your different financial activities and the contribution of them. I display label value, or you could display in terms of percentage as well. Okay, so display label and display cash flow type. So this makes sense. You can make it a little bigger. You can play along with the formatting as well. Change font, color, size, style. You can do this and make this meaningful. So now I have got year over year. This is year over year cash flow. Year over year cash flow. Okay, which I represent a pie chart. The last view I'm going to create over here, the donut chart. Tableau does not support donut chart, so I'm going to use one trick to create donut chart. See this carefully. First, I create a calculated field. You can name it anything. I'm going to use a name as dummy, and the value is 0. I use dummy over here in my column twice, and I turn it out to be a dual axis chart. Dual axis chart, and the view type I turn it as pie chart. Okay. The inner one, I'll change the color as black and white up to your need. I'm going to convert it white, and the outer one size I'm going to change. So this turns out to be a donut chart, okay? But I want to define the contribution percentage of it. Therefore, I use color to be controlled by cash flow type. And so there are 3 color for 3 types of cash flow. And finally, I use a measure and display the label. So this is a meaningful analysis for me. I'm going to hide this label, show header. I hide this header. Finally, you can prepare this for multiple years. So 1 year I create for 2 years. Okay. So again, I'm going to exclude 2010. And the final step is I create this a donut chart. And I put them everything together into my dashboard. So create a dashboard and place all your artifacts. First, I'm going to prepare a detailed report. It is going to occupy a lot of space. The remaining space I'll use to place my 100% stack chart and my donut chart and pie chart. So I can add a header over here as well. I click on title and turn it out to be a floating view. Okay, so it depends upon my requirement. I can place them anywhere. Then in turn, I'm going to add other 2 views. So I group them together for 100% stack bar chart and drag and drop over here. Again, it looks so big. So I'm going to turn it out to a float 100% stack bar chart. Make it floating. So I play just next to this. Similarly, I'm going to place, let me hide this. I'm going to place my year over year donut chart. I make it a float type. Year over year pie chart, sorry. And make it as a float. And place next to my this 100% stack chart. And finally, I place my donut chart below this. This too, I'm going to make it floating. You can organize in more meaningful way, depends upon your, one more thing, the donut chart has an equal contribution. I need to go back and correct this. I need to change my major type as an angle. Donut chart is looking as an equal distribution. So I go back and change angle to my donut chart. Now this makes sense. Otherwise, it was looking at the equal distribution of all the colors. When finally I look at a dashboard, I get to know that. So I place all this artifact together over here. You can further format and change the color, font style, add header, images, anything depends upon your requirement. So this is how you can prepare your dashboard, cash flow dashboard, which makes sense to your financial users. So thanks for watching today's video. Should you have any question, please feel free to write to us. Our website is www.bisptrainings.com.